Most brands don't realize they hired the wrong agency until it's too late. It starts the same way every time. A brand hires an email marketing agency. They promise full service. We'll take care of everything. We'll set up your flows, segment your list, optimize your deliverability. Sounds good, right? Except fast forward 6 months. And what do they have to show for it? Flat revenue, tons of email flows running in the background, collecting dust, a few generating some sales, and campaigns that look like a heart monitor. And yet when I ask them, so what exactly has your agency done to make your customers want to buy? Silence. That is when they realize they never hired a real marketing agency. They hired a Klaviyo provider, a glorified button pusher who knows how to use a software but has zero idea how to actually generate sales. And right now, these brands are paying thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands for agencies that are nothing more than an overpriced Klaviyo technician. So how do you know if you hired the wrong agency? Well, there's one dead giveaway. And if your agency is guilty of this, then you're losing money. And for context, for those new to the channel, I'm Matt Pirelli, founder and principal at Email Engineers, my email marketing agency where we help high 7 to 9-figure e-commerce brands scale their email sales. So if you're watching this, chances are you're running a 7 to 9-figure e-commerce brand. You've been told email should account for 30 to 40% of your total revenue, and you've worked with an agency before or are considering working with one. And maybe you're thinking, our email is fine. We have automations, we're selling campaigns, and everything looks good. But let me ask you something. If you were leaving 6 or 7 figures on the table every year, how would you know? Because here's the thing, most brands never realize how much they are losing. Not because their email team isn't working, but because they don't know what great looks like. So they have email just running in the background. Flows are firing, campaigns are going out, and sales are coming in. And they assume this is as good as it gets. But that is the most expensive mistake we can make. Because if we don't really know what the best email marketing strategy actually looks like, we have no idea how much we should be making. I love cars, so this is like the equivalent of running a Bugatti with the best engine made by the entire human civilization ever, with 16 cylinders, and running that Bugatti with just 3 cylinders, and then thinking, yes, the engine actually works. You're moving forward, but you're moving at just a fraction of the speed you should be. And most email agencies don't care about that at all. They look at your account, they tweak some flows, they send some pretty campaigns, and then they collect the retainer. Meanwhile, your actual revenue potential, that extra 6, multiple 6, even 7 figures per year, stays locked behind a wall of a flawed strategy and a flawed implementation. So the real question here is, how much are you actually making with email and how much you should be making? This is the gap. And if you don't have an answer, you don't have an email strategy. You have an email presence, and that is a problem. But the good news is that there is a solution. So let me show you exactly how to tell if your agency is actually making you money or just pushing buttons inside Klaviyo. Okay, so when you log into Klaviyo, there's a section called benchmarks to the left. You click on that, you go to your campaigns, you can filter, let's say, last 3 months, you will see something like this. Quick side note, I mention Klaviyo a lot, and this is because all of our clients, high 7 to 9-figure e-commerce brands, use Klaviyo, and I enforce that they use Klaviyo because it's just the best app there is at the moment to handle email marketing. Yes, it's like 10 to 20% more expensive than other lesser options, but the extra features that they offer just make up for all of that, and many times over. So if you go to your benchmarks, which know that I mentioned, I'm not sure if other email apps include this, but this is critical to see the gap. You go here and you can see exactly how you are comparing against your peers, other brands about your same size and your same category. So it's the same playing field. And it simply shows whether you're above or below average and how much so. So let's break this down. We have the metric, your performance, your value, and how other competitors are performing, the median, right? So for one of our clients, our bounce rates are about the average, slightly higher. Bounce rates, so this is nothing to worry about. Click rates are excellent compared to others. So top 1% of Klaviyo accounts. Click rates are good, but the most important metric to look at is conversion rate. So here, for example, our emails have 6 to 7 times higher conversion rate than their competitors, meaning that per email sent, they generate 6 to 7 times more money. So this is the cool part. This let us understand that gap that I'm talking about. If we saw that this metric is just fair, it's just average, the same as our competitors, then we don't really have an edge. So why are we paying an agency to get us average results? It just doesn't make sense for me, at least. Or at least the clients that I attract want just the best. They literally want to dominate the market and scale as be as profitable as possible. So for them, fair is not enough. If we look at open rates, they are good, so slightly better than average. Revenue per recipient is more than twice the average. And then finally, we have spam report rate and unsubscribe rate, which are poor, and that is perfectly fine. So let me tell you why. Spam often come for two reasons. They either didn't find a way to unsubscribe, so they just reported an email as spam, or what happened in this case is that we had to reactivate a dead list. And when that happens, it's normal for some people to don't remember who you are. So if you don't mail often, like this brand that we took charge of was doing, they weren't sending campaigns at all. Then when you do send a campaigns, these people are just, who are these guys? I don't remember signing up to this. I just report this as spam. So this is what happens. And so this is not actually a problem because it's still within like the healthy guidelines considering this context. And finally, unsubscribe. This says poor, but this for me is excellent because this means that we are getting people to unsubscribe rather than report us as spam. So that is a win. Some people try to hide the unsubscribe button and make it impossible to unsubscribe. And that really drives spam reports up. And that's a horrible thing for your reputation and your deliverability. So that is a problem. High unsubscribes, not so much. We would rather have these people leave rather than report us as spam. And then there's some people who are simply not interested at all. And we would rather have those people go away. They don't want to receive our emails. Fine. Again, these people have been on the list for months. So possibility is that they already purchased from another competitor. They are not in the market anymore. So they don't want to hear anything about this category at all. But that is fine. They unsubscribe. We are paying Klaviyo less money. Good for us. But back to the main topic. This right here helps you understand that gap, that opportunity. How is your agency performing? Are they just average and they are getting away with it, which is not ideal, or they just doing a great job? Because I can tell you how many times we've taken on a brand, checked their Klaviyo benchmarks and realized they were in the bottom 25% of their category of these benchmarks. And these brands are doing 7 or 8 figures or sometimes 9 figures. Brands who thought their email was fine, but they weren't fine. They were losing millions and they have no idea. Most brands are underutilizing email by 50% or more. So let's say a brand is doing $6 million a year, $500,000 per month. Their current email revenue represents 15% of total sales. So that comes to be $75,000 per month that are generated with email marketing. Let's say now that they scale that from 15 to 25% of email sales. That change alone gives them an immediate uplift of $55,000 per month and over $600,000 extra per year. And that is just taking email from 15 to 25% of total sales, which is completely possible when you know what you're doing. If they took that to 30%, now it's an extra $1 million per year just by figuring out how to do email marketing the right way. That is the reason why I talk about the gap, because this is something invisible. You cannot see this unless you know that it exists. So this is what the Klaviyo benchmarks exist, because they know that most brands are doing email marketing wrong, and it's in their best self-interest to get them to do it right, because then they can retain them forever as a Klaviyo user. They want you to win. Let me tell you a story. Yes, you know the iPad was coming eventually, didn't you? So this brand came to us in January 2024, doing $3.2 million per year, represented on average 19% of sales, which sounds decent, right? That's what they thought too. They had flows, an agency was managing their campaigns, and things look good. But when we took over, this is what happened. By the end of December 2024, yearly sales, which used to be $3.2 million in 2023, went to $5.8 million. Interesting. Email revenue scaled from 19 on average to 31 to 36% depending on the month. So this is $1.8 million generated versus only $632,000. So it's a 1.2 extra million dollars that we generated because we did email marketing the right way. They've been with us now for over a year and they couldn't be happy, because it's not just about the extra revenue, but what really matters, of course, isn't what you make, it's how much you keep. In most agencies, on top of that, to add salt to the wound, they chase revenue at the cost of profit. They run endless discounts and flash offers. They train customers to wait for sales. They send the same generic, over-designed emails that every other brand is sending. The copy is written with ChatGPT and they don't really give a fuck. It's just lazy marketing. I will even go ahead and call that marketing malpractice. It kills your margins and it's just all in their benefit. The way I see it, that is a complete scam. That is why when we took over, we did the exact opposite. We didn't rely on discounts. We didn't train customers to expect sales. This is what most agencies don't understand about email. Email isn't just reminders to buy. It isn't about nudging people with 10% off. Email is about creating conviction. And when customers believe, truly believe in your product, in your brand, in why it's different, they buy at full price, they come back and back again. They become loyal customers, not just discount chasers. This is the missing piece. And this is why Klaviyo providers fail when real email marketers win. Because email isn't about the tech stuff. It's not just about the segmentation or the automations. It's about creating conviction. I'm grateful that I had to learn this lesson. I learned this about 5 years ago when I was running my own e-commerce brand. And things were good until they weren't. I was running Facebook ads. That was my main method to acquire customers. Eventually, I woke up one morning and I saw that I was completely obliterated and banned from using Facebook ads. All of my ad accounts, my personal account, everything was just banned. It was like Chernobyl. If I tried creating an account, it was like infected and it got banned immediately. But somehow I had to still find ways to keep my store alive. So that is when I found out about email marketing and what it can do for brands. I purchased some email marketing courses, read some guides, and eventually started selling campaigns. Some worked, some didn't, but I was committed to make this work because honestly, I was forced to. Like I had no other chance. I had no other alternative than just to make it work. So I kept doing this for months and months and months. And it was like this hard monitor. Some emails made sales, some none at all. And it was kind of disappointing. Yes, but I didn't give up because maybe this dopamine rush from seeing these great campaigns perform keep me motivated. So what I did eventually is I just compiled all of my best emails and my worst emails and saw what they had in common, what the best performers had in common and what the worst performers had in common. And I realized that every single campaigns that performed above average had two things in common. They relied on two powerful forces that the bottom performers were missing. These two ingredients that when an email had it, it was destined to generate a ton of revenue and profit because it wasn't discounts or flash sales that I was running. I didn't care about sales at this time. I just cared about profitability to keep this store afloat and living. So these two powerful forces are trust and desire. The best emails move people from, I guess I can wait a week, a month to buy this thing. I don't really need it now, honestly. I will wait. They move it from that stage to, I need this now. I need to buy this now. It doesn't matter how much it costs. I want this. I need this. That is desire. But that is just part of the equation. The best emails also created tons of trust because it's super easy to make claims, but if you can't back them up, you're not getting the sale. So eventually, I figured out that if I could stack enough trust and desire and trust, more desire with emails, I will get the sale. This is what became the conviction threshold. And this strategy of combining trust and desire, it's called conviction building. When I mentioned that our emails convert 6 to 7 times higher than competitors, it's because we used this strategy. We do not send the typical e-commerce emails that they tell you to send, the typical emails that you can find in sites like reallygoodemails.com and sites like that show cool emails, but we don't really know if they are high converting emails. It's like emails that might win some awards, but for me the biggest award is generating as much revenue as humanly possible, because these emails keep you living here in the medium. If you do what everyone else is doing, then it is impossible to expect that perform above average. It is simply illogical. So now let me actually show you a few examples of these types of email, of conviction building emails that my team has created. Let's get started with this. This is a cart abandonment email or for Sigmatic. They send coffee with adaptogens like mushrooms, not those funny mushrooms, but the smart mushrooms like lion's mane, reishi, and others like that are super good for the brain, and I actually use it and I recommend you use it if you want to be at your peak performance. So this is a cart abandonment email. It's text-based. Is nothing like the typical cart abandonment email that you will get for a brand, but the only thing that they normally do is remind you. This is, as you will see, conviction building email. Gets you to believe, gets you thinking differently. It gets you to want to buy the thing, as you will see in a second. So let's read it. Hey name, Tiro here, founder of Segmatic. I'd like to share with you an email I received a while back. Tiro, no offense, but why would someone buy coffee from you for $20 when they could get it from Walmart for like $5? I figure you might wonder why too. Am I right? I get it. Let me explain. This is a kind of Folgers medium roast for $4.92 from Walmart. From it, you can expect stimulation, potentially an upset stomach, jitters, there's a fun line, anxiety has you thinking at the speed of a twin turbine engine, it crashed about 4 hours after you drink it, and a familiar taste. Our think cold brew ground coffee with lion's mane and chaga mushrooms cost $20. From it, you can expect stimulation, no upset stomach, zero jitters, absolutely no anxiety, no crash, and a better taste. So yes, I suppose you could say it costs more. But what's a morning kickstart without any upset stomach, jitters, or crash word to you? I'd say that's worth plenty. There's a difference between cost and value. All customers know the difference, but don't take my word for it. Take it from our 45,000 5-star reviews. Here are a few notable ones. Then we feature some reviews from people they most likely know. And then we say, and by the way, I know I was talking about our think product line here, but the same exact love and attention to detail is applied to every single product we sell. We aren't some giant behemoth that's forcing people to pick coffee beans for $2 an hour from a third world country. You can taste the difference, and I love to prove it with our money back guarantee. If you don't absolutely love anything we sell, you'll get the money right back. Just click this link right here to finish checking out. Tiro, founder of Segmentation. So compare this to the typical cat abandonment email. Hey, we noticed you forgot about this. Click here to complete your order. And then that's it, right? It appeals to like 10 to 50% of those people who legitimately forgot. But the rest needs belief, needs conviction to buy. They're just there. It's just an email, right? This is why this works so well. Honestly, if it wasn't for all the people sending bad emails, our clients wouldn't be banking because it would be the norm. But the truth is that still in 2025, people are sending the same emails everyone was sending 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Customers are getting used to this. So instead, the ones whose email marketing strategy is simply all about creating as much conviction as possible, reap all the rewards, reap all the profitability. This is how to win. Let me show you another example for a conviction building email. This time it's a designed email. Normally, it is easier to create conviction with text-based emails like the one you just saw, because there's simply more room for words, more room to persuade someone. A good email hooks people up from the beginning, and then they don't let it go until they are finished, much like a good Latina. But it is also possible to do this with designed emails. Sometimes you have to visually show things to create an effect, and this works better. So the example I'm showing you in a second is for a skincare brand. Now we have to put ourselves in the shoes of a customer right here. They are scrolling through Instagram, they see an ad selling a anti-aging face serum. Now, they either are already in the market for an anti-aging face serum, and so they're most likely seeing ads from 5 other brands. That is how meta ads work nowadays. If they know you are in the market for a product, you will see ads from literally 4, 5, 6 different brands. It's more competitive than ever. Or if they are not yet in the market, we have to do the heavy lifting of convincing them they need an anti-aging face serum. So in both cases, there's a war to fight. It's two opposite forces. So with conviction building emails, we make sure that they are the ones who desire our products the most, and they are the ones who trust our brands and our products the most. And so we win the sale, not our competitors. Let me show you the email. It begins like this: the dark truth behind the 163 billion skincare industry and how you can avoid it. That got my attention. Over 2,100 skincare products in the US are filled with toxic chemicals like parabens, phthalates, and other additives that improve shelf life, cost, and effectiveness. That could lead to long-term health issues, hormone disruption, skin irritation, increased risks of cancer. Then there's the first soft call to action, the alternative. The 4 natural ingredients that have made over 4,000 women age backwards. Healthier, more potent, and skin-friendly. Meet the 4 handpicked ingredients in Blair Rejuvenate Face Serum. Solid before and after with as seen in the natural ingredients inside Rejuvenate Face Serum. Hyaluronic acid. Then we mentioned studies show it can increase skin hydration by up to 96%. promoting smoothness and radiance. Moisture magnet keeps skin plump and adds smoothness. Then we have Tremella mushroom. This creates curiosity. Sourced from the forest of Asia, it naturally hydrates and combats fine lines, wrinkles, and dark spots, leaving your skin youthful and radiant. It has been shown to retain up to 500 times its weight in water, helping to lock in moisture and combat signs of aging. Then some benefit to the skimmers who've yet to read the whole email: combat fine lines, soften wrinkles, lighten dark spots. And then Portulaceae oleracea, a wild succulent that is packed with antioxidant and omega-3 fatty acids, acting as a shield to protect your skin from damage and aging, while promoting a bright, youthful complexion. It creates a nice image in your brain. Studies have shown it can reduce the effects of UV damage and improve skin elasticity by up to 40%. Then, more benefits. Finally, we have aloe vera. I'm not going to read this for your time's sake, but someone who's in the market for this is definitely going to eat this and read it completely because they want to look and feel younger. So they're looking for solutions. Most people are scared from really long emails when we have proven they are the ones with the higher conversion rates when done right. Then we say these 4 ingredients work together to give you a serum that not only reduces the sign of aging on your skin, but also keeps you and your face healthy for the long run. This is a common pain point these people have. Take care of your skin, use Rejuvenate, shop Rejuvenate. So this is a nice email overall. We didn't try to get too clever with the design. We would rather have them read through all of this. That is a beautiful design campaign that creates conviction. But what about a welcome email? This is normally the most important email of them all, and the typical agency just set up the, hey, here's your discount code, shop now, maybe a few products. But customers who just literally signed in to the list did so because they are actively in the market for whatever product it is that you're selling. So they want to be sold. They are looking for a solution. They want their problem to go away. And instead, this other type of email, hey, here's your discount, doesn't move the sale forward at all. It doesn't create belief. It doesn't create conviction. It's just there. So let me show you the complete opposite approach of that, which is a conviction building email. Now, this one is really long. This is over 1,000 words. So this is sometimes what is needed, especially in competitive markets like skincare, anti-aging, when there are dozens, hundreds of brands, all making their own claims. And as you will see, there are some hidden marketing tactics and strategies that we are using inside this email. See if you can spot it out as I read this. So it begins. Hey, Blair here from the InBlair team. Just wanted to reach out and let you know to keep an eye on your inbox. I'm going to be personally sending you some awesome emails throughout the weeks that contain helpful skincare tips, stories, and special discounts. So keep a lookout for any messages from me. Here's a quick introduction to me and how InBlair changed my life. It all started about 14 months ago. At that time, I've had fine lines and wrinkles on my face for quite a while. At 63 years young, it is expected. It was nothing out of the ordinary. That was until one morning when I woke up, got out of bed, looked at myself in the mirror, and, well, it almost seemed like the lines of my face grew deeper overnight. I'm not sure why, but the wrinkles stood out to me more than usual. Am I really getting this old? I thought to myself. I'm not that old yet, but that morning, the lines around my eyes, mouth, and on my forehead told a different story. And as time went on, it just got worse. Believe it or not, I tried to hide it from the world, avoiding pictures, avoiding any events or gatherings with friends. I felt way older than I really was. I know, that is a bit extreme. It's just wrinkles. Yes, that is true, but I couldn't help it. I don't see anything wrong with trying to look your best for as long as you can. And that's exactly what I decided to do. If there was a way to iron out these wrinkles, look younger, and get my confidence back, I was going to find it. So I started searching. Was it easy? Definitely not. I spent the next months experimenting with anything I could find. Face oils, masks, retinoids, acids, and everything in between. Some made small differences, and others didn't help at all. Some even seemed to damage my skin more than they helped. Putting oils and serums to the side, I decided to look for bigger and more impactful options. Surgeries and facial treatments? No thanks. These had potential risks I was not comfortable with, not to mention the big price tag. Not for me. I wanted something natural I could do at home. It wasn't long before I ran out of ideas. Then, one rainy Tuesday afternoon, I ran into an old friend at the grocery store. What blew me away? She's the same age as me, but looked years younger. Even younger than when I last saw her. Looking at her face, it was smooth, no crow's feet, no wrinkles, and no lines across her face. She almost had a youthful glow to her. I couldn't resist asking, "What's your secret?" She looked at me, glanced around, leaned in, and whispered, "Search for rejuvenate face serums from Imbler on Google." I thought, no thanks, not another serum. That night, as I was lying in bed, I told my husband about whom I had run into. Telling him about how young she looked prompted us to look at her Facebook pictures. And it was clear. She was literally aging backward. Her most recent photos showed her skin looking younger, clearer, and smoother than it did before. I was honestly in disbelief. I stood up, walked into the bathroom, and looked at my own skin. The difference was huge. With the feeling of frustration pushing up my body, I caved and went onto Imbler's website. I had to find out why this specific serum is so different than everything I've tried. Then I read about this. The Rejuvenate Face Serum uses a unique multi-weight formula. What? Simply put, it uses ingredients of different sizes or weights. This helps the serum get deep into your skin, reaching areas most other skincare products can't. It's almost like it hydrates your skin from the inside out, tackling aging at its source. That, combined with the fact that in a study of 30 women who used Imbler serum for 150 days, 100% said their skin looked younger, 95% noticed fewer wrinkles and fine lines, and another 95% observed their dark spots appear brighter and more even out. That pushed me over the edge. I ordered 3 bottles of their serum. If I was going to try it, I was going to go all the way. A few days later, I had a knock at my front door. And sure enough, there it was. I took the package, cut it open, and pulled out the bottles of face serum. I immediately went to the bathroom and massaged some drops in my face. It felt smooth on my skin, almost luxurious, and it absorbed almost instantly, which was surprising. Up to this point, most serums I tried barely absorbed at all and left my skin feeling sticky. But not this one. I keep applying it every morning and night for the next few weeks. With time, I could see my wrinkles start to look lighter, fine lines reducing, and almost every week I saw a younger version of myself staring at me in the mirror. When did I really know it was working? When people started giving me compliments. My husband, kids, family, and friends will all comment on how good my skin was looking. This took my confidence to a whole new level. I finally felt as young as I really was. What are you using for your skin? They will ask. Of course, I will send them to Imbler. In fact, I was so surprised at how effective their serum was that I reached out to the Imbler team. And what ended up happening, I became a part of their team to help spread the serum to more women around the world. Now, we've helped over 4,000 women around the world look and feel younger. Amazing, isn't it? Try the Rejuvenate Face Serum for yourself. You'll love the difference it makes. So could you spot these little tricks that we use? We even use one to increase the average order volume here. And as you can see, this is an ugly email. I cannot deny it. So this is something those who are worried about brand building get wrong, in my opinion. They think branding is just a color and a logo. But the way I see it is differently. Branding is about what you stand for. What are your values? What are the emotions you're trying to convey? The way I see it, this is even a better branding emails than most other branding emails people send. And in terms of conversion rate, which is honestly what really matters, it converts 10 times better than the typical welcome email. So we really use text-based emails like this a lot. I've seen also some other agencies do it. And a common mistake that I see doing is that, okay, they are aware of good and bad copywriting, cool, but they obsess over copywriting formula, clever wordplay and how to say the things. And I was in this camp too. Like I told you, back in 2019 when I was running my own e-commerce brand, I had to learn about email marketing. That got me into copywriting first. But eventually I leaned away from the tactics, more into the principles, what really works. And what I found out is that the topic that you choose matters way more than how well you write it. If no one cares, then the best copy won't save you. For example, the email I show you is very well written by copywriting standards, but that is not the reason why it converted. The reason why it converted really high is because it resonated with people. It really resonated with someone who's in this market, someone who's seen 6 Facebook ads for face serums. They are not clear who to buy from, and then they see this. So yeah, this is well written, but that is secondary. The first and most important thing is the topic. We choose to build conviction, in this case with a story, and so we're creating trust and desire, as you just saw. So proper email marketing is also knowing what topics to talk about. So another example to drive this home, because it's critical. Imagine Jimmy spent months perfecting the world's most persuasive essay on why people shouldn't learn French. It's beautifully written, super compelling arguments, even super persuasive. There's tons of facts and data and experts' opinions. But at the end of the day, nobody cares because nobody wants to speak French. So for example, imagine if we would have made this email about how the big problem it is that face serums comes in bottle of 1 ounce versus 2 ounces, right? And we made an entire email on that idea. Nobody will care. And this also takes me to another point. Another way you can tell right away whether you're working with a proper email marketing agency or not. If you ask them, what is going to be your first move? And then they tell you, okay, after you clear up the invoice, we'll create your flow, start segmenting your list, we have the campaigns done. You know already they failed the test. You can safely stop that Zoom call right there. I give you permission. If they ask you why you're leaving so early, tell them you have a call with Matthias later, all right? No, but in reality, if they tell you that they're gonna go straight into action, okay, cool, and how do you actually know what to talk about? So instead, a better option will be, okay, now, first we'll dive into customer research. We'll spend 10 hours where your market actually spends their time. We'll become one with them. We'll really understand what they're going through, the real pains that they're going through, what they really want, the fears they have. Have they been burned before by other brands? And speaking of brands, what are other brands claiming? What are other brands saying? Because this all influences how the market thinks. We'll also analyze past campaigns, see what has resonated, see what hasn't. We'll also need to align with your current brand positioning, because if something is off, something is not aligned between your positioning and your emails, customers will notice. So this is better. This is what a proper email marketing agency will do. The other case is just a Klaviyo provider. It's like if you hired a lawyer and then they immediately start filling out paperwork before they even understand your case. You know you're going to jail. So here's the takeaway. Real marketers don't start with software, they start with strategy. Instead, what I've personally seen from diving into hundreds of Klaviyo accounts is this. This is what a Klaviyo provider does. These agencies have big databases of email sequences in a Figma file. And what they do, the moment you clear the invoice, what they do is they grab this template, they slap your logo, change some colors, hop over to ChatGPT and write the copy and call it a day. Hey, we just finished, here are your sequences. And the way I see that, it is first a scam. But secondly, it's pretentious and arrogant. They are expecting that whatever they set up from the get-go is the truth, is the emails with the highest conversion rate possible, and they didn't even have to A/B test it. Just whatever they set up is the best, right? That is what they are implying if they set up, for example, just one welcome email one. So you have, for example, a welcome flow with 3 emails, day 1, day 2, day 3, and they are expecting you to believe that the emails that they set up are the highest converting emails possible. That's nonsense. That is why when brands come to us looking for full email and retention management, we not only set up email 1, 2, and 3, we will set up variations for email 1 and A/B test them so they fight against each other, and we at least have a higher chance of finding the true winner. Because what we have found for running hundreds and hundreds of A/B tests is that there are emails that simply have a higher conversion rate. There are better emails. Sometimes they can generate up to 5 times more sales. Just as there are good ads and bad ads, there are good emails and bad emails. Most e-commerce brands are testing hundreds of ads per month, yet their email flows are just there, untouched for months and months, sometimes even years. So the way I see it, agencies who do not test at all, they don't care about performance. They just want to collect the retainer, call it a day. And that is their business model. That is not the way I like to do business. By the way, I have another video completely dedicated to A/B tests and what we have found to be worth testing and not worth testing. Because as you can see from this example, some changes, some variables are going to make you generate 5 times more sales, and it's not subject line. A quick spoiler. And now, we covered a lot, but let me tell you just one final thing. This is more of a strategical thing than a tactical thing, but it's critical. Most agencies operate on long, slow cycles. They might analyze data once a quarter, if even at all. So by the time they decide to optimize, their clients have probably already lost 6 figures in lost revenue, in unrealized sales that could have been. What we found to be one of the biggest game changers in helping our clients increase their email revenue is having bi-weekly reviews cycles. So this allows us to be really quick and say, okay, this is not working, this is working. Let's do more of what works, less of what doesn't. And so we can iterate into a winning strategy faster. Because when I mention conviction building, it is not that it is the perfect strategy per se, but instead it's like the bowling guards, so that at least you don't miss a shot, right? It increases your odds of creating good emails. It gives you house odds, so to speak. So then if you grab that strategy with a fast review cycle, you can iterate faster into what does and into what doesn't. Because we have collected 17 ways to build trust with email marketing, 7 ways to build desire, it's honestly more now. And with faster review cycles, we can find, okay, this is working, this is not working. Should we do more text-based emails, more designed emails? So at the end, speed compounds. In 2 months, we will have 4 review cycles versus just 2. So this is the difference between a 10% improvement square and a 10% improvement to the 4th. So this is a 21% increase. This is a 46% increase. And that just stacks up month after month after month after month. Lots to process here, honestly. And I want to be clear, not every brand wants to maximize their email sales. Some brands are fine costing at 15 to 20, 25% of their sales coming through email. They just want to simply keep the lights on and they're just happy with that. And so Klaviyo providers are fine in that case. But this is instead for the maximizers, those who want maximum revenue, maximize profit, maximize growth. And if that's the case, then Klaviyo providers are holding you back. You need real email marketing. So if that is you, you're running a high 7-figure to 9-figure e-commerce brand, and you want to scale your email sales as high as possible so that then you can generate as much profit as possible, then there's going to be a link in the description for you to schedule a call with me. This is a discovery call to really understand what you're looking for and see if we are a good fit. The chances are that you got a good idea of how we operate and the type of businesses that we're looking to partner with. Because in 2025, I'm running the conviction games. This is where for every single month, January through December, we're partnering with 1 or 2 at most brands and applying the conviction building strategy to their email marketing to maximize sales. And I'm recording this on the 3rd week of February, and already 3 brands have joined. So we're actually above the limit, and that limit comes because I don't want my team to operate at full capacity. I will need to expand my team to accommodate to all of these brands that are joining in 2025. But because we allocate so much time for every brand, so we can apply the conviction building strategy and dive into their market, which requires hours and hours of being exposed to the market and researching, I can't simply operate at 100% of capacity. So to grow my team at a fair place and train them along the way, I have to have this limit of maximum 2 brands per month. Sometimes it even might be 0 new brands per month when we are onboarding new talent, but then the next month we might onboard 2. So again, if that is you are a revenue maximizer and you want to work with a team who's going to amplify your positioning, your messaging, use conviction building to stop relying on discounts to get sales, and instead have customers who buy you because they believe in you, what you stand for. They trust your brand, they trust your products. Then the link is going to be in the description. I'm Matt Pirelli, founder and principal at Email Engineers.